What's going on, guys? What's going on? This is Andre. Hope you're doing great. The reason I wanted to jump on today is because tomorrow is the auction. It's IAA Long Island auction that we usually attend every Tuesday, and I saw a couple cars that I wanted to show you guys to illustrate the fact that you should always be careful at salvage auctions, no matter if the car is being sold by an insurance company or it's being sold by a dealer. You got to be very careful. Let me switch my screen here. All right, so this is the car that I wanted to show you guys. It's being sold tomorrow. It's a 2020 Infiniti Q50 luxury, and it says it's a theft recovered vehicle. See, loss is theft. Primary damage is front and rear, and it's being sold by State Farm Insurance Company, which is nice, right? Because it's an insurance company, and I told you guys that only buy cars from insurance companies, not dealers. So it looks like a nice car. If you look at it, you know, there are a couple things. Obviously, if you look closely, you'll see the front bumper is off a little bit, and there is some damage here on the bottom of the bumper. And then the rear, I see they took off the tail lights. I don't know why they did that. I don't think they were damaged. They just took them off and probably put them in the trunk. And there is some damage on the rear bumper as well, if you look closely. That's why it says the damage is front and rear. And inside looks pretty clean. The airbags look, you know, the dash and driver airbags look fine. They took this close-up picture. Has only 2,000 miles. Looks like a really nice car, right? It's 2020, minimal damage. But here's where it gets interesting, guys. Look, see, start code, it says starts, not run and drive, which is the first thing that caught my attention, right? And I was like, that's kind of strange. Why would it? You know, the car looks fine, the suspension looks fine, so I don't see a reason why it wouldn't drive, right? It just starts. And then I'm like, okay, you know, maybe whatever, something happened, they couldn't put it in gear or something. But then I wanted to hear the engine running, because usually IAA provides the videos of the engine running, and I see there is no video of the engine running. There is a picture of the engine, there is a key, but no video, which is very, very strange, because it's a 2020 Infiniti, and I'm sure if the engine was running fine, they would definitely put that video in there. So that it's a very big red flag for me, and I think what it means is the engine is there is a big chance the engine is shot, even though it says starts, but probably it's making all kinds of noises. Maybe there is no oil in the engine, it's very noisy, so they just decided not to put the video up, not to scare potential buyers. So most likely what happened was this car had some kind of undercarriage damage, because you see the bottom of the bumper is hit, so probably it hit something, and it probably damaged the oil pan or the transmission. Maybe transmission fluid leaked out, that's why the car doesn't drive. And maybe the engine is bad too, because if somebody drove with no oil, you know, they hit the oil pan, the oil leaked out, and they could easily kill the engine. So this is it's a very dangerous car to buy, even though it's being sold by State Farm Insurance. And also, if you look, you see the estimated repair cost. This is not super critical, but it's $34,000, which is a lot of money, more than the car is worth. And this damage definitely doesn't look like it's going to cost $34,000 to fix. So all this tells me that there is some kind of shady story going on with the engine here. And another thing, if you do like the 360 view, right? So you can look, which is very nice of IAA to provide this kind of videos. You look around, basically it's the same thing we just saw in the pictures. The bumper is messed up, you can't really see much. The way they do these videos and the pictures, somebody told me these people actually are trained to do these videos and pictures to not to show the damage, you know, so you don't see the damage. If you like scroll quickly, you don't even see the rear bumper is damaged. You see the way they did it? It's like closer in this spot where the damage is. And then there is also damage here a little bit, not much, but these pictures these people are masters of doing videos and pictures to deceive you as a buyer. But the main thing is the interior view, right? If you notice here, it says airbags are intact. You see in the description it says intact airbags, which is really nice because I really don't like cars with blown airbags. It creates a lot of problems, not only in terms of cost and repair costs, but also in New York they don't allow used airbags to be used in rebuilding a salvage vehicle. So if the airbags are blown, then it means I'm stuck with buying brand new airbags, which cost a lot of money. So if we go here in the interior view, you see the roof airbag was definitely blown, and they just cut it. You see it's cut. And I think the seat airbag might be blown as well, but the way they did this the video, is that you don't see it on the other side of the seat if the airbag is blown or not. But there is a big chance it is blown. And then the right side too. You see the right roof airbag is blown. I don't know about the right seat as well. The headliner probably is damaged too. So that's gonna add at least, you know, if you buy it, and it's a 2020 Infiniti, the older models might fit, but you know, if you end up buying this from the dealer, it's easily gonna cost a couple $1,000s. It's gonna add it to your repair bill. So not only the engine is probably shot. I mean, I don't know for sure, but there's a big chance. But now you have to deal with replacing the airbags. So this nice car, it looks nice when you like look at it, you know, like quick look, and it's being sold by the insurance company, but it might turn into a nightmare for you when you buy it. So this is why I wanted to show it to you guys. So you always be careful and pay attention to stuff like that, you know, so you don't get screwed. Okay, now let me show you another car real quick. This is a 2020 Jeep Compass Limited, also being sold tomorrow. And you see it, this car is pretty bad. All the airbags are blown. It has substantial damage here on the right front corner. So the fender is messed up, the hood, headlight, bumper, most likely the suspension is damaged. And this is a nice picture they took at the auction. And you know, again, you can do like a 360 view, and you see it's pretty messed up. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but with the blown airbags and everything, it's a pretty substantial damage. And why I wanted to show you this car, guys, is because look, it has a clean title, clean New York title. Even though with all this damage, it's, you know, definitely enough to total the car, but it's being sold with a clean title. Because again, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, see, it's being sold by Enterprise Vehicle Exchange, which is a rental company. So rental companies are, a lot of times they insure their own vehicles. So something like this happens, it doesn't get reported. Let's say the guy hit a tree or something, right? And they call Enterprise. They say, oh, I got in an accident. So the Enterprise picks up the car, tows it back to the yard. They don't make a report. They don't report it to the state. They just take the car and send it to the auction and sell it with clean title, because they hope that they're gonna get more money for it this way. They think somebody might buy it, fix it up, and sell it as a clean title vehicle. So they hope somebody's gonna give them more money than if it had a salvage title. So always be careful with clean title cars too, guys. This is for those people who think that clean title is very important when buying a car. Now you see it's clearly not, but I hope you already got it, because if you've been in this group for any amount of time, you know, you should already know that. Alright, and finally I'll show you a very interesting car here. It's a 2017 Lexus NX, right? And I just wanted to show you, you know, I talked about it a lot in many videos, that you should always be careful and stay away from dealer cars, and this is a great illustration of this. So let's look at it. So it's a 2017 Lexus NX. It has, you know, you start looking at the information. Obviously, there's a few red flags that catch my eye right away. So first of all, it says, see, primary damage is flood. The title is Illinois salvage title, and it's being sold in New York. This is always a red flag, especially if it's like a state far away from New York, you know. And also, if you keep reading, it says title sale document notes. title TBO, prior lease. So what it means is title TBO means title to be obtained, which means the auction doesn't have the title at the moment, and when the car is sold, the title is going to be turned in to the auction. This is usually an indication that this is a dealer car, it's not an insurance company, because the insurance companies usually, when they sell their cars, it means all the paperwork is ready and the auction has it. They almost never sell cars with TBO, which means like title absent basically. And also prior lease. This doesn't mean anything. It's just here to deceive the potential buyer to think that this was maybe like a leased car and then it got flooded or something. But in reality, it doesn't mean anything. Alright, so at this point, I'm pretty sure it's a dealer car. Now, if you see start code, it says stationary, so the car doesn't start, doesn't run, and it says the key is missing. How convenient, right? They actually probably did it to make you think that, oh, you know, of course it doesn't start because the key is missing, right? And you see the cluster doesn't line up, so it adds up. The key is missing. Probably that's why the car doesn't start. And it looks pretty clean. If you look at it, you know, the interior, it looks very nice, very clean. You know, the body looks clean. So you would think, well, the engine is very clean, so it looks like this car had maybe some minor water damage, or the worst case scenario, maybe the engine was bad, you know, or something. So I decided to see what happened. So I took the stock number, and I'm going on this website. It's called bidfax.info. This is one of the websites I use. This is a really great website to check the history of the car. It's kind of like the same idea as autoastat.com that I shared before with you guys, but now that one is paid and this is still free, so I use this one a lot of times. And as you can see, you know, you see this car, this is every time this car was either ran at the auction or sold, you know. So we scroll all the way to the bottom and we see the first time this car was sold was at Copart auction, and it sold for 10,300 back in, you know, this is the European date format. So it was sold on August 1st, 2020. Let's open it and see the details, right? So it was sold on August 1st for 10.3 at Copart, and location, see, Illinois, Chicago South, with the flood Illinois title. And if you look at the car, you see this is how it looked like when it was sold. You see these are the watermarks. So basically this car was completely submerged in water. It looks like it was like on the bottom of the lake or something, I don't know, or it was like in a really bad flood up to the roof. You see the interior is all covered in mud. It was probably sold by an insurance company. They didn't even bother to clean this up, and it looks like really awful, you know. You see the engine is all covered by dirt. The cluster is completely flooded. So basically this car is total junk, you know. It was flooded up to the roof. So what happened was somebody bought it for 10.3, and then keep looking, in October 15th, that was 2.5 months later, it shows up at Copart again under a different lot number. Let's see. And now it's in Maryland already. So somebody bought it in Maryland. They cleaned it up real nice. You see, now the body looks really clean. The interior looks very clean, super clean. The engine looks clean. The cluster still looks messed up, which I think is a big mistake if you ask me. These people, you know, like, there is no point to do this if you're gonna leave this like that, you know. It's impossible to clean the cluster because it's like sealed. So the only way to do it is to replace it. I guess these people were too cheap to do it. But in any case, now they got 11.5 for the car. So I'm thinking, you know, if they paid 10.3 last time with auction fees, towing and everything, they probably got their money back. Maybe they even lost a little bit of money, but I'm sure they were probably happy to get rid of this car because as you saw before, it was like pretty messed up. And now somebody bought it for 11.5, and next month, 2 weeks later, It showed up at IAA. And let's look at the pictures. Now it's in Long Island. So another dealer bought the car and it looks pretty much the same, also very clean, except now they did replace the cluster, or maybe they opened the old one and like washed it. I don't know what they did, but now it looks really nice. You know, they cleaned the engine even better, the body is clean. Now it looks like a really nice car, and they got 10,100, which definitely less than they needed because they paid 11.5 before. With fees and towing and everything, the car easily cost them like 12.5, almost 13,000 at this point. So they're definitely not gonna sell it for 10 grand. Then they ran it again. They got 98.75 a week later. See the dates here. Then they ran it again, and now they got 13.5. Oh, they sold it on iBuyFast, so they put it up on iBuyFast for 13.5, and somebody bought it. So now they got their money back. They probably even made some money, not much, but probably a few $100. And this person who bought this car, they didn't know what they were doing. They got too excited. They just clicked buy it now. And then probably what happened, they started doing some research and they saw all the stuff that we just saw, or maybe somebody told them to do research, and they got very, very upset. And now they realized they got screwed over real bad. So they see, now they're trying to run the car back in the auction and hopefully get their money back. So you see, they bought it on November 14th, and now they try to sell it on November 24th, 10 days later. They try to sell it, and it looks like the car hasn't been paid for. So whoever bought it, they just said, I don't want the car, just take it back, and you know, charge me 10%. So they were willing to lose like $1,300, and probably 14, because they knew they got screwed. So now the car is being run in the auction again, and you see it got 8,500. Then next week somebody bid 7,400. Then next week 91.75, and tomorrow is another time they're running it. So they obviously try to get as close to 13.5 as possible, but it doesn't look too promising because the pre-bid is only 3 grand. So somebody got really, really screwed with this car, guys. So this is what I wanted to show you, and again remind you guys that always be very, very careful. Always be very, very careful when buying these cars, and always do your research. With that said, I'm gonna end this video, guys. Good luck buying salvage cars. If you have any questions, comments, please drop them down below this video. Hopefully now there is sound and you guys can hear me, and I will see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, have a nice evening. Bye everybody.